Let's say someone calls and says he's from the IRS. He says you owe taxes and need to pay right away by getting a gift card at the store. Should you do it? No. It's a scam. Government agencies will never make you pay with a gift card. Now let's say the caller claims to be from a tech support company. He says he needs to fix a problem with your computer after you pay him with a gift card. Should you? No. That's a scam too. Real tech support companies don't work like that or make you pay with a gift card. What if you get a call from someone who says she's a relative or friend and needs money right now? She begs you to go buy her a gift card. Should you do it? No, that's also a scam. Gift cards wouldn't help real family members or friends in a real emergency. Gift cards are for gifts, not for payments. Anyone who tells you to pay with a gift card is a scammer. And once you've shared the gift card number and PIN, your money is probably gone. So what do? If you have paid with a gift card, contact the company that issued the card right away, and then tell the FTC. Reporting to the company and the FTC helps us fight these scams. Go to ftc.gov/giftcards to learn more about how to protect yourself and others.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things can never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
The writ of possession is at the very end. All of this starts with one, in the case of rent not being paid, the rent isn't paid. There's some communications going between the landlord and the tenant about, hey, where's my rent? And then you get this notice to vacate. And then once you don't vacate, the landlord can go and file a summary ejectment proceeding, which is another way of saying filing a court case against you saying you owe me this money, you have not paid your rent, I want you evicted out of my property. And usually that's going to be in small claims court before a magistrate.
Well, your rent notice is basically a magistrate summons with a complaint and summary ejectment attached to it. That comes from the clerk's office to the sheriff's office, and what that is basically the notification for the hearing for the landlord to start the procedure to get their property back. We'll receive those from the clerk's office. The deputies will take those and they will attempt to make contact with the defendant or defendants that's listed on the magistrate summons. If we can't make contact, we will post, as statute allows, for the court date. And once that is returned, they have been served for their court date. Once we've served it, they'll have to call the court. If they don't understand something about it, that would fall more under calling the clerk's office to find out if there's any discrepancy about the court date or if there's any problem that they may have with the court date. They would need to contact the clerk's office because we're actually just serving notice of the court date.
That's the first part where we're involved. Only thing we're doing is serving the paperwork just like any other lawsuit. Then you go before the magistrate, landlord presents evidence, you can present evidence, or the renter can present evidence, a decision is entered. You have a right to appeal that decision to the district court. If you appeal it, there's some procedures involved with that. And then if you lose that appeal, or if you don't appeal it or contest it, what you're going to have is a judgment being entered against you. And that's when the writ of possession comes in.
Once the sheriff's office receives the writ of possession for real property, the first thing that's done is a notification will be sent out of the date of the eviction to the defendant or the defendants. Second thing we do is we're going to notify the plaintiff of the date and time that we'll be out there to facilitate the padlock. Once the deputy arrives on scene, the property will be taken from the defendant, turned over to the plaintiff. The defendant will be served the paperwork if they're there, but we're there to take custody of the property from the defendant and turn it back over to the plaintiff as the court has ordered.
Really, the legal process is the entire court case before writ of possession is requested by a landlord and delivered to the sheriff for execution. Writ of possession is basically carrying out the judgment of a court. Just like if you were sued for a motor vehicle accident or some other small claims proceeding, when the judge enters a decision, it becomes a judgment, and then you go collect on the judgment. And then once it is issued by the clerk of court, it's delivered to the sheriff for execution. The reason why the sheriff's office is involved is because when someone is moved out of their property, it's a very tense situation, and the sheriff is involved to make sure that it's a peaceful transfer of property.
As in all civil process, the sheriff's office is just enforcing the court order. The court order is that the plaintiff is to receive their property back. The deputy will go out there, the property will be taken out of the defendant's possession, placed back with the plaintiff as the court has ordered, and we're there to also make sure that that's a peaceful transition during that process.
But the law requires the sheriff to do this, and in fact, if the sheriff doesn't do it, he could be sued. So you should really take some steps right at the beginning of all of this when you first have difficulty with paying your rent. Because when it gets to the sheriff's office, it's too late. So what can you do? In several communities throughout the state of North Carolina, including Durham, there are rent assistance programs. North Carolina, along with the United Way, has developed what's called NC 211. If you pick up the phone and dial 211, you're connected to a resource hotline, and you can tell them what your problems are, whether it's paying rent, paying your mortgage, making utility payments, need of food, and they can connect you with resources in your community. Here in Durham, you have the legal clinic at North Carolina Central. You may also have law clinics over at UNC, Duke, over in Raleigh at Campbell, where you can get some free legal advice. You have Legal Aid of North Carolina, but if you go to their website, they have literature on there on what the eviction process is, what is a summary ejectment, what you should present to court. Can you get out of it? Can you pay your rent? Can you settle this? What to do if you want to get into a settlement. Here at the Sheriff's Office, we know about the process, but we can't give you legal advice. State government is well aware of the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on individuals, and so there's some relief efforts being made. And so really what I'm saying is that the solution to a lot of this is before you get to the writ of possession. There are community organizations out there that will help you with rent assistance. The General Assembly, which is our state legislature, is looking at some solutions. Our local officials may be looking at some solutions. Churches may be available. So when you get into that situation of not being able to pay your rent, making utility payments, not being able to put food on your table, oftentimes we panic, we become concerned, and that is the moment where you don't close yourself in. That's when you need to go ahead and ask for the help that may be out there. Because if you act quickly and at the beginning of the process, you won't get into the court system and you wind up staying in your home. Because by the time it gets to the sheriff's office with the writ of possession, there's not much, if anything, that can be done, and our hands are tied.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
Operation Lifesaver's mission is to live up to its name. Since 1972, we've been the nonprofit rail safety education organization of people dedicated to eliminating death and injuries around railroad tracks and trains. All across our country for almost 4 decades, Operation Lifesaver's trained network of volunteer presenters are working proudly in communities like yours. Our safety message is delivered to thousands of people yearly, reminding them about the dangers always present near trains and train tracks, and offering them safe ways to navigate across highway-rail intersections. Operation Lifesaver presenters have reached people all across the United States, from civic groups, town assemblies, trade shows, youth programs, community events and fairs, and many, many other groups where we live, work, and play. Our presenters have been spreading a rail safety message for the benefit of all of us. We've seen an 80% drop in vehicle-train incidents since Operation Lifesaver began its work. But there are challenges on the horizon. There are more injuries and fatalities involving trespassers than vehicle-train collisions. Trespassers include both people walking on or near the tracks, as well as riding trains illegally. This becomes more crucial as train traffic in America is expected to nearly double by 2035. As the 21st century surges, rail travel is the fastest growth area in public transportation. Whether it's freight, passenger, or high-speed rail, the public will be experiencing more train traffic than ever before, and the safety challenges with that increase will require even greater public attention. Most of us don't realize that trains are wider and faster than they look, closer than they appear, and at 12 million pounds can take 18 football fields to come to a stop. That's a mile or more, and today's high-tech distractions wreak havoc in train incidents. Over 140,000 miles of crisscrossing track is traversed daily by texting teens, MP3 pedestrians, mobile technology drivers, and smartphone commuters. Modern life picks up the pace for all drivers, no matter whether they're beginning or experienced. Professional truck drivers or school bus drivers, EMS responders or law enforcement officers. And pedestrians trespassing on the tracks may think they've found a shortcut to their destination, but what they're more likely to find is disaster. The risks are all too real, and the success of our mission is up to each of us. Operation Lifesavers presenters are personally dedicated to getting the safety message out across all 50 states. The difference starts with you.
To keep things from being stolen from your vehicle, don't leave them in your vehicle. Simple, easy preventive measures. Don't leave your items overnight, during the day, 5-10 minutes. Take them in the house, take them in the building, into your office. Just make sure they're secure somewhere else besides your vehicle. If you have to leave something in your car, secure it in your trunk. It's less likely to be seen through a window. If you can't secure it in your trunk, most people have a lock-in glove box. Put it inside of your glove box that locks, or your center console. Not all of them lock, but at least it's not out in the open, visible, where anyone can walk by and see it. They're looking for easy grabs, book bags, purses. For some reason, people leave laptops, MP3s. They look for weapons. They know people leave weapons in the car. So if you have to leave a weapon in your car, they make boxes where you can securely lock your weapon in the vehicle, unseen. You can always call the police, reference suspicious activity or suspicious person. Do not approach them yourselves. You never know if they're armed or what their intentions may be. Before you go through it, call the police first. Hopefully they're able to get fingerprints off of it, but call the police before you go through your vehicle. If it appears that they've gotten in, 9 times out of 10, they probably did get in and just didn't see anything worth taking. A lot of heavy equipment, especially for construction, is kind of hard to take in and out. If you can secure it down, get lock boxes. A lot of trucks offer toolboxes, lock boxes. If it's big items, get chains. Find ways to secure it down with chains. If you can and you're not able to, one of the best things you can do is make sure that you have these serial numbers so that if they do get stolen, they can be located if they're pawned or stolen or sold to someone else. Put it up, put it away, keep it out of the public's eye.
Hi, Toby Keith here. Like most of us, I love driving, but too many people die every year on America's roads. So always buckle up, slow down, drive sober, stay focused on driving.
Every day, officers enforce traffic laws to keep our families safe on the road. So drive smart.
And do your part to save lives.
A message from the National Sheriff's Association.
As a small business, we're looking forward to people being able to come back into the store. And
we would love to have everyone come in and shop the way that they used to be able to.
We want to be responsible to not only ourselves, but to people we don't even know.
If folks are going to choose to spend their dollars with us, then the least that I can do is participate in what it takes to vaccinate.
We are really optimistic about the effect the vaccines are going to have. People want to treat themselves. The craft beer movement and the craft food movement can go hand in hand, and it's all about giving yourself something special.
That desire to shop and to get out there in the stores is very strong for a lot of people.
When we do this, we're making a statement that my individual discomfort is not anything to be compared to community safety.
You have a spot. Take your shot.
You have a spot?
Take your shot.
If you love them enough to pull an all-night baking session.
Night. Oh! Close.
Enough to take last-minute requests.
Oh. One more hug. Here's water.
Enough to ride the merry-go-round again and again. Or enough to let them win. Then surely you will check nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure they are in the right car seat.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Okay.
Is that Dakota? She knows better. Let me get out and talk to her.
Now, Dakota, I know you're just enjoying hanging out here with Caden on Bring Your Dog to Work Day, but you know we're always telling people what they have to do to be in compliance with the ordinance, and you're out here violating the ordinance.
How?
You know Caden has to be on a leash when he's not restrained on his own property or in a secure enclosure, so he's got to be under adequate restraint.
I totally forgot.
I'm even going to give you a free leash.
Thank you, because we give these out in the community, right?
We do give out free leashes.
I'll put it on him now.
I'm sorry, Caden, but it's for your protection and the protection of others. Don't forget, you can also consider other adequate restraint, such as an e-collar.
What's that?
An e-collar is an electronic device that allows you to maintain control of your animal even if they're not on a physical restraint. So you can consider talking to your trainer or your animal behaviorist and find a sufficient electronic device that would work for Caden, and then you'd be able to let him play more.
That's a really good idea, Melinda.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me about our leash law and the ordinance for making sure that our dogs stay safe and contained.
Absolutely. And don't forget, the at-large ordinance does not apply if you're in a dog park here in Durham, which we have several of. They're fenced-in areas. You have to have your dog on a leash when you go from the car to the dog park gate, but once you get in the gate, it's a free-for-all for all the dogs.
Okay, one more question real quick. If I was in my yard with Caden, would he have to be leashed or wearing an e-collar?
Not as long as he's on your property. Remember, the ordinance says once he's off of your property. So if he's not on your property, then he's got to be under restraint. But he's free to play in the yard freely as long as he stays in the yard.
All right. Well, we'll do better next time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And this is Mel and Coda with your at-large ordinance for this month.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer.
A manager.
I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A student.
A mom.
We're all part of your community. We live in small towns and big cities.
On farmland
and concrete.
Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little details that make up our everyday.
The morning walk.
That familiar engine firing up.
The bus stop friends.
A hot cup of coffee.
That guy who can never seem to parallel park.
Every day brings surprises.
A flat tire.
Midday traffic.
Bus delays. Again. There's always something unexpected.
And honestly, that's fine.
It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty.
Something you know shouldn't be there.
Or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia.
Or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
We all play a role in keeping our communities safe.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Hello? Yeah, I just parked the car. I'm on my way up. Let me know I'm here. Sorry, it's been a really hectic morning, but I'm here. I am so sorry. I can't believe I forgot to drop you off. Your mom usually takes you to daycare. Let's make sure you're all right.
Durham County Sheriff's Office, where's your emergency? Okay, we'll get deputies on the way.
I'm Durham County Sheriff Clarence Burkhead, and we want you to join our team. Honor, duty, service. If you have what it takes, our recruiting starts now.